Hi, I'm Bernadette Doyle and welcome back to Client Magnets TV. Now, a question that I often get asked by people is how do I get new clients? But it's a question that I always answer with another question because it really comes down to what are you already doing to get clients? What I see is a lot of people get muddled with the difference between generating a lead and actually making a sale. So in my book, when you're generating a lead, you're actually getting someone to raise their hands and say, I'm interested. And that's different from the process that you would use to turn that raised hand into paying business. So that's one of the first things I'd have you do is really think about and separate out getting people to raise their hands first and then following up and selling to those people after. This is so much easier in terms of how to grow your client base because if you think about it, how many times have you bought from a total stranger? Would you really buy from someone who just walked up to you in the street? Would you really agree to marry someone that you just met in a bar? I don't think so. And it's absolutely true for our clients too. So we need more time to develop the relationship, build rapport, and then close the sale. So the first thing you want to do is think about what could you do to actually generate more interest for your business? What could you do to stimulate raised hands? Let me give you some examples of the things I've done. Things like a free report. Years before I was online, I used this successfully offline. This method really works online and offline. And I would simply offer, at the end of articles that I had published in magazines, I would offer a free report. I would offer something that people had to phone in, because these were in the wild days before the internet. People would have to phone in and they'd have to request this free report. Well, that's a technique. Even you heard me mention articles there, you might think, oh, I can't do articles, but the technique applies in many, many, many situations. Whenever you have any contact or opportunity with a group of people who are your target audience, you absolutely need to give them an opportunity to raise their hands. So that means if you go and you speak at a networking event, offer something in exchange for them raising their hands, for them giving you their contact details and permission to follow up with them. So that's the first step, get them to raise their hands. Step number 2 is you need to understand what needs to happen for that raised hand to become paying business. And it's understandable that many people these days are jaded and cynical and are weary of pushy sales techniques, but you don't have to be like that. Selling is basically, it comes from a word, the Finnish word to serve. Selling is basically serving, and selling is nothing more than matching what you have to the needs of your audience. So what you need to work out is what are the steps that they need to go through in order to feel comfortable buying from you. And depending on your industry and exactly what you're offering, those steps may vary, but it's normally going to be some point of you finding out more about them understanding more about your product or service, you matching the service to them, making recommendations, explaining the benefits. And you can either do this in person, but you can really massively explode this when you learn to do this in a one-to-many situation. In fact, I'm not going to go into that in this week's episode. That is something we'll definitely cover on a later topic. So you need to figure out all the steps. And then once you've done that, what you've essentially got is you've got your process. You've got your process for generating a lead. You've got your process for getting people to raise their hand. You've got your process for turning that raised hand into paying business. And once you have your process in place, then it's simply a situation of repeating that process as often, so you get more clients, you make more money. So it doesn't have to be complicated. People really make getting new clients, growing a business far too complicated, and it really is very simple. And that's why I want you to subscribe to Client Magnets TV, because I want to share with you the very simple strategies that can have a massive transformation on your business. And also I'd love to hear your comments on this episode and the other episodes that we share here. So make sure that you leave those too. And I look forward to seeing you next time.